Hey everyone, so as you can see, I've got new trailing arms for the Corvette, and first thing I'm doing is changing out the wheel studs on them. So in order to do that, you need to have the trailing arm clamped to the table. I actually just ran a big heavy bolt through the table to hold it down. I'll put a link in the description and you'll see why I'm using these longer studs. Here's the originals, here's the longer one, and that's the part number there. So in order to change them out, it's a little trickier on the trailing arms than it is on the front. First thing you've got to do is remove some park brake hardware, the spring and the adjuster screw. And to get the spring out, I actually just used a flat blade screwdriver, stuffed it in there and pulled on it and it came right out. Then your adjuster screw will come out. And depending on what side this is on, it's either going to face forward or aft. So pay attention to that. Once you get all that stuff out, line this hole up underneath the park brake shoe. And take your screwdriver and wedge it in there, and then push it through one of the windows on the dust shield. And that'll give you enough room where you can get a Dremel tool and cut this notch out. Without that notch, you can't even get the original studs out, as you can see. Now once you got that notch cut out, what I did is I took a 2x4, cut a wedge shape in it, and then drilled a big, probably inch hole through it. Then I would put it in here. Obviously I've broken it already, but I put it in there, give it a couple taps with the hammer, put my nut on the stud about flush with the threads, and then take a 4-pound sledge. Just one good hit will knock it right through. So then, when you go to put the new ones on, a couple important things. Make sure you use the right size washers. If you use some that are too big, they'll hang down and then they'll get caught on the threads as you're pulling it in, and they'll damage those threads. So use the right size washers. And here I've also got a really thick 7/16 washer. You can see that helps too. The other thing, put some oil on the threads. I stripped one out because I just ran it in dry, and then I realized, well, yeah, I should have put oil on it anyways. I just used some motor oil, and what I'll do is I'll run it in till the stud's about halfway in, then I'll back the nut off, put more oil on it, then run it in the rest of the way, and that seemed to work really well. Now to protect the new threads, I've got a nut here, and then what I'll do is just put a wrench on it, and then put my block of wood right there. That way when I'm tightening this down, it holds everything in place, and I don't have to worry about those threads getting damaged on either one of those studs. Again, anchor it to the table. Use your wood block to protect the studs, and then to protect your piece here from getting damaged or from damaging the bearing when you're knocking them out. So far everything's working good. Should have a video in the next month or so of a completed rolling chassis. We'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.